put on camera. Anyway, good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, and good other things to potential listeners. This is another scene in Living World of Darkness, Mage from the Ashes, uh, and now we're all finding ourselves. We're finding ourselves in the Chantry for now. Like it's a nice afternoon after people have come home from work. Uh, the people, it's been a hard day of labor for the people in the Chantry. And we can begin with just getting where everyone is. Are everyone gathered in the common area, or are you in the rooms? Just asking those first.
I was gonna
Um,
say if Nazca wanted to meet at work, but since we're already in the chantry, I'm gonna be in my room.
yeah, Norska can have just got in, and she'll be sitting in the kind of common area, I guess.
Yeah, Theo for his part will also be in the common area.
Well, so as you people, are just seated in common area, having a normal day, and maybe even some conversation, being social. Noska needs that a little bit. I know,
Nausicaa.
I know,
Oh, sorry, go on.
and I was just, I'm aware that not everyone's in the common area. Just to inform, anyway. Uh, what were you saying, Robbie?
Nausicaa is she has her arm in a sling, and she she just kind of like move with a fair bit of pain, but she will say, "Theo, how are you?"
As he takes his eyes out of the book and look at her. Well, I'm basically doing better than you are. Would you care to explain your current state?
Long story, but I should survive. There's an alien living in my apartment in Manhattan. I think you met it.
Yes, was weird enough.
Yes, things have been strange, but they have been resolved.
It's
So he dissolved into many babies' worms.
Hmm. You should probably speak to Ava about it. She is more understanding of what's happened than me.
Okay.
and it's as you exchange that little bit of just catching up on the day's names. When Theo, you'll notice this because yay, your ever helpful spirit of crisis is going to appear to you like just like in a few glimpses, just be like, hey, I'm here. Oof. Even despite the fact that you don't have any magic on to see her, she's revealing herself to you, just with the whisper that there's been some strange developments outside.
What kind of development? As as he looks at her.
Community feud. That's the best way to describe it. It's been there's some neighbors in the area that's moved in, and there seems to be in conflict over it, causing death. That, of course, brings new people into my area of the world, so to speak. But
He's going to shut the book. Well, Nausicaa, it seems that there are community problems outside of the Chantry.
Explain.
According to my nymph, it appears that from her own word, there are two communities who seems to be going at each other, and they are kind of making the underworld a little bit more crowded these times.
She blinks again. Seems a little confused. What do you mean communities?
I'm not sure that's how she describes it. What I'm more concerned is that if that is the case, and that they are bringing more debt to the toll, I fear that the technocracy might be looking a little bit into this direction.
Well, we do not want that. We should do something about it.
Yes, we should.
I can lead you to the area where they've made the neighborhood. They've made the battleground.
Alec will walk out of his room, kind of rubbing his eyes and heading straight for the coffee pot with determination.
Oh, good. You're also here. Come. We're gonna go outside, make a tour.
But coffee.
Well, you can take your coffee in a mug to go.
I will do this.
Good.
He's becoming more obedient. Nausicaa says to Theo.
Nausicaa? Don't test it. I'm simply being nice. We live together.
All right. Well, there's appears to be some problem in the neighborhood, and we don't want to attract too much attention, so might as well try to know a little bit about what the fuck is going on.
Okay. Whereabouts?
Crisis can hear. He'll just say, it's close here, but it's by the river, the big river. Just very helpfully, because that narrows it down. I can lead you to it when we are outside.
Okay, we need to talk about the definition of distance. But yes, guide us to where the problems are. Please.
So, are people going to continue to discuss stuff, or are we just going to go on our merry way outside?
Nausicaa will get her what she calls her, or she doesn't. What Robbie calls her away gear. Yeah, we can go outside.
Excellent. Anyone else preparing anything? Just as I know.
I am preparing my guns. That's
Preparing your guns.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good start when you need
It's
stuff.
a good start, yes.
So anyway, you're all going to be let out. Chris is going to lead Theo, and by extension, the rest of you outside.
Oh, sorry. Before this, can I prepare some of my rotes?
I mean, by all means, you can do this.
Okay, I would like to do my.
Preparation.
I have prescience as one of my rotes, which is essentially means I win initiatives.
Okay.
It's written in my blue booking.
Yes, I'm looking at it now.
It's time 2.
Yes.
It's in like the first post. It's actually kind of a bit of a
Yeah,
cluster.
I'm seeing it as we speak.
That's cool.
What are we doing out of character? Like, I'm not.
We're going to the spirit mentor of Theo is leading you guys to what it describes as 2 communities fighting in your immediate neighborhood, or close to it at least, which could in turn lead to technocracy issues since they're causing deaths.
Oh,
So you're just going to investigate what the hell's going on.
So basically,
Cool.
I'm gonna do it. My thing will be I will use my energy drink instrument because it's like it's increasing my mental capabilities. So there won't be a practice roll for it.
Okay,
But,
go for it.
What are the modifiers? Yep, I should just do 5.
I'm gonna pull out my phone
1.
and turn on the app/rote that I made, allowing me to see through materials like walls and stuff.
So you want to use a matter 1 route?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
I have 3 successes, so I think that's enough.
3 successes. Well, that should be that should be enough. Yeah. Okay. So are you rolling your narrative for the other one? Okay. Yep.
Are you talking to me or him?
Well, don't you have you? I'm talking to you. Like, are you rolling for your matter 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. That's
You got I got 3 successes. No, I'm looking at the wrong roll.
I put it in the fucking
Where are you
werewolf.
roll?
Oops.
Yeah, roll in mage, please, where I can actually see it.
Hey, I was just in a werewolf scene. Don't give me too much shit.
I mean, it's fine with werewolf. Just
Still 1 success.
okay.
Uh,
Is 1 success,
uh,
which isn't sufficient to have this like booted up and ready. So you might roll. You can roll 1 more time,
Yeah,
connected to
done.
that casting.
I got 2.
Yeah, yeah. 3 successes is sufficient. Are you doing anything mystical, magical,
It's
Theo,
just
or just
Theo is going to. I'm going to activate my road Artemis sight.
okay?
By using basically the blessed arrowhead sigil that he has, and praying for Artemis to give him the sight of a hunter to basically lower my perception.
Yeah, there we go.
Because we're gonna need some investigation.
For paradox reasons, from what other people see, is I'm just holding up my phone and you see in the camp like it's just like me and taking like pictures or something or like video. So it just looks like me being a tourist, but in actuality, I'm looking through the walls.
Yeah. Okay. Did you roll?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this is more than sufficient. So we're all ready to go and kick the butt and I mean explore. I mean and find happy unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So as you guys walk outside, Theo will uh, through the streets down towards the river, and it's not going to be that far from you. It's going to be about 15 minutes of walking. So, and considering it's New York traffic and shit, which is mostly making up for that time, it's not that far. So it's worryingly close, and it's going to stop with an entrance to an alleyway leading to a small side street. And I want you all to roll perception plus awareness.
Can I just use my thing to see through the walls, see if I can see what's happening on the other side?
Well, it's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, you see there's something that's kind of making it obscured in your lens, but what you see through the wall is it's kind of weird. You're seeing 2 lined up groups charging at each other, looking like they're in cosplay gear.
It looks like they're LARPing on the other side.
So does uncanny insight count?
This will count for this. Yes.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I perceive everything. I hear everything. I hear nothing
You
else.
do. I mean, as a professional awareness, you see the wooginess more than you. hear it. But what you do notice is that is everyone else rolling their perception awareness as well? Just
Can do, yeah, sure.
and what? I'll just wait until. Yeah, this is difficulty was 6 for this. So, yeah. So Alec only feels it's like beyond looking at through the camera and seeing people preparing to fight in cosplay gear, or what looks like it from this distance at least. It feels slightly weird, the way leading out to the street. You two others who you are more honed in the art of being around strange shit, notice that there's clearly some kind of magical wooginess going on surrounding, like, not cutting off the street, but making it less likely for normal people to go in there. As awakened mages, you of course aren't perturbed by this in any way, but it explains why no one else seems to have any interest in even looking at the alleyway as they just walk past you down the street.
Nausicaa looks and says, "Something's going on here."
Yeah, there's something weird, something magical.
We should.
Well, we need to have a look at exactly what is going on. Do you see anything?
No. Nausicaa, yeah, she's gonna basically she's just gonna look around and see if there's anyone who appears to be acting weirdly. So it's basically two groups of people who appear to be LARPing.
Well, that's what it looks like from a distance, just through the camera. If you guys actually go into the alley and like move around the objects that cover for like that he sees through to the road he's using, but you guys don't see because physical objects and sight, that weird limitation of reality. I mean, you will notice that when if you actually go inside, are you going inside or are you staying outside still? Or are you going more into the fray to see what's going on?
I think we'll try and get in closer.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll have you know, nobody will be going into Frey. Okay, he is straight. Okay, he will not be receiving anybody.
Okay. So you go into the alley. I'm not going to make you roll stealth for this for reasons that will become apparent as you come out through. You pass some rubble and a small building standing in a way, and then as you cross through the alley, you see down the side street. You see one group decked in Viking gear. Like it's almost the Horn helmets level of bad. They're like having axes and shields, and there seems to be one of them holding a sort of rousing speech to the group. There are about 20 people, and on the other end, you see a group of what seems to be just a cluster of slightly more normal people, in that sense that most of them are wearing normal clothes, but they have like spears and shit, and some of them have like hoplite style helmets. But beyond that, they look pretty normal.
To Nausicaa. Hey, look, there are more mud wizards around.
Nausicaa just gives him the normal kind of like deadpan look she does.
He accepts it as normality.
This is strange. What is going on here?
Since at least two of you scored such huge amounts of successes on the previous awareness roll, you will also notice that on the ground near the alley, you see there's been carved a few runes on one end, and there's ancient Greek lettering on the other. Just like before, like at yeah, there's some Greekisms about. So that's something.
Can I use my app to see through their clothes?
I mean, yeah. their human bodies. You're creeping at a bunch of men and women.
Okay, are there any like strange tattoos or anything like that that would symbolize any
I mean, loads of them have tattoos of different kinds. The Viking dudes have all tattoos, which mostly is axes and force hammers and stuff like that.
anything symbolic that would seem magical or real, like they're actual Vikings, or are they just like something that you get at the local tattoo parlor?
It's more than that. Like beyond the axes, there are actual runic tattoos, which is a bit more obscure than what you get at the average. Like, oh, you want a helmet, kind of thing.
I'll show
But
this
beyond
to
that,
Africa.
sorry, I was just looking up something. Does anyone have? Yeah, you have ancient Greek, don't you?
Yes.
Theo. Yes. So you can read the Greek lettering, and you know that it's basically a heclictic hexameter. It's like the written poetry on the side of the street, down just in a single line, which seems to mostly be about how the battlefield was cleansed of the impure and the unworthy of witnessing the great battle of heroes. Seems to be the general gist of it, from what you can see from here.
Okay, I have a question. Is it actually well written, or is it like badly written, as in they make grammar mistake?
Oh no, it's actual ancient Greek. I mean, Nausicaa, as an actual Greek reader, you will also be able to follow some of this. It's not going to be perfect, but their languages are similar enough that you should be able to notice the general gist as well.
So, if I understand correctly, save a purge the battlefield of the impure, and what the fuck is going on here? Is this a fucking reenactment?
I should mention one more thing for Alec. You will notice that some of the normally dressed people, quote unquote, some of them have a slight yellowish, like goldenish tint to their skin, or a more like reddish tint to their skin. That's beyond what you would
show this to Nausicaa.
If he shows Nausicaa that he's using his fucking app to look at people naked, she's going to give him like the most disgusted look.
Don't look at me like that. Look. Actually, look. The Vikings have actual Nordic runes engraved on their skin. And look at the fucking normal dudes over there. Their skin is fucking gold and some of them red. This ain't no LARP.
You still shouldn't use that app.
Well, you know what? Don't be a prude.
I'm not being a prude. You're being a pervert.
Whatever. They'll just kind of like turn his head away.
But yes, something is affecting them.
So okay, in terms of description, Carl, basically there's the kind of dressed normal group, and then there's the
Viking armor group. Yeah, there are 20 of them, and there's like 6 of the normal people.
Okay. Well, Theo is gonna make an approach to see what the fuck is going on.
Are you just going to walk outside into the street, or are you going up to one of the groups? What are you doing? Describe what you're doing here.
I mean, at this point, like he's wondering like which one of those bozos have written correct Greek, because he's pretty sure like the Vikings have no literacy in ancient Greek.
Well, both of you did spot there were some kind of runish inscriptions on the ground on the opposite end of like essentially the alley is where the two like texts stop. Well, one end has been written in runes and the other one has been written in Greek. And one group has one of them has a hoplite helmet on. Like,
I go to the hoplite group.
You go to the hoplite group.
Yeah.
You're going to step outside, and the two of the groups are going to note the two groups, or at least not the two groups, but one group's going to look at you, which is going to be the normal dress people. The other group is going to have a really big red-haired, like with a really elaborately braided beard, Viking dude is going to suddenly start. You going to hear the word Svinefylking. That's the way he pronounces it is. Svinefylking just yells that word over and over again, and the people are starting to like set up like in a battle formation, and then he's going to yell something about how we're going to turn these monster skulls into goblets and stuff like that. That's that. All of you hear that, by the way. As the
Is that in English?
that part is in English. The first word is not English, but beyond that, the speech is in English. They don't seem to have noticed the approaching Theo, as Theo's stepping out. One of the six hoplites dudes, or woman rather, with blonde hair woman is going to run down. Jazz is like in a ponytail, runs down very very quickly, might I add. Runs down towards Theo, but she doesn't have her weapon straight, so it's not a hostile run. But as you know, she stops that. Like, get out of here! Get out of here! It's not safe. Not safe. Should not to be rude, but sod off. You don't want to be involved in this stuff.
He's gonna rub the bridge of his nose, and he's gonna ask an ancient Greek, "What the fuck is going on in this neighborhood, and why are there fucking Vikings in the streets?"
And she's also going to switch to ancient Greek at this point, just to be like she and her quote unquote relatives. She does the finger thing. Has been settling down in the area, and then this random group of Viking hunters have come after them, and it's generally making their life sour. But to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, because they tried, they've been going around murdering people trying to get to them. So to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, they made an honorable pact, she quote unquote again, to face here in battle, because that's what they want apparently.
What on earth are you talking about?
Your friends don't.
Yeah, he's got.
You explain.
He's gonna turn and explain. Okay, so apparently, and he turns. Are you guys Amazons or like
Myrmidons, but close.
Myrmidons? Okay, so the Myrmidons have just arrived in the neighborhood, and apparently those guys, as he points to the very rude people, like extremely rude and uncivilized barbarians, they kind of want to have a go at them, and they've apparently been the one who've killed people to get to them, and they have agreed to pretty much apparently settle it off here. And by the way, I'm making a perception empathy, because my experience in the underworld tells me that people lie all the fucking time.
Yeah. You can roll that as much as you want. Go for it.
Yes.
While he's rolling, Nausicaa is going to be like, "Is this real, or are you some kind of reenactors? What do you mean you're Vikings?"
Well,
Or
no,
you're
you're not talking to
Myrmidons.
Viking. We carry the legacy of the ant blood. That's the easiest way to explain it. Anyway, I would love to go into the long exposition details here, but these people are going to soon start marching towards those informations and send the two like berserker warriors first and so on. It's not going to be pretty. Anyway, as for the role, she seems to be speaking the truth mostly. There's obvious, like based on what she's saying, there's some stuff she isn't telling, but it seems to be pretty. She seems to believe what she's saying, at least.
What aren't you telling me?
As I just said, I would love to go into all the details here, but it's Yeah, the time is kind of an issue here. We're supposed to fight when the clock strikes 6 exactly, which is in like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes.
Which clock? Because at this point, Theo is thinking, if I make the clock stop.
Can I pull out my taser and just hold it up in the air?
You can pull out your taser and hold it out in the air.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hold it ready.
Anyway, I'm sure you guys are all well-meaning and totally normal. She winks at people, but it's a situation here, and I kind of have to get back to with my people so we can be ready for these weirdos. She nods back down to the Viking weirdos.
Nausicaa just looks like has just a what the fuck expression on her face.
Nausicaa, you've seen aliens. Why does it bother you?
You people, and he's speaking a little bit louder. You people realize you're putting a lot of shit around here. Like you expect the others to not catch on to this shit?
When you say the others, that's very vague.
The tyrants of reality. Call them however you wish. The technocracy.
She seems to have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
You can't do this here. You're attracting too much attention. I don't know what you are, or if.
Yes. we would also love to not start big fights in the streets, but they were killing innocent people and blood eagling them and shit. It was
what do you mean they were killing people?
Those people down there, she points to the Viking group. They're very, despite the fact that they look very silly from here, they are apparently very good at murdering people and not making it, come in the news. Let's put it that way.
Not just as them all.
Okay.
So,
okay. I've had enough of this shit. And Theo is gonna start to walk in between the line of the two groups.
He's gonna stand in the middle.
Yeah, he's gonna turn. He's gonna turn to the Vikings, to the Viking side, and gonna say, "Hi, what the fuck is your fucking problem? What is your quarrel here?"
The big red-haired dude seems to be very annoyed as he turns around from speaking to his men, and they were all very much in like kind of, and he's like, he's trying to be, he's giving you like really, really, man, you're interrupting me kind of look, and before it's like, those monstrosities over there have to be stopped for the betterment of all. We as the servants of the gods will ensure that to be so. So step away from whoever you are, or share their fate.
You cannot fight here. This is not your place. You'll cause us a lot of trouble if you do. I don't know what's happening, if this is real or whatever, but you can't fight here. So go away.
Ha ha ha! You're trying to make us go away. The laugh is as fake one as it sounds. Like he's like, trying to make us go away. Well, you will not. You will not sway us from our righteous purpose.
Alec will point his taser at them and start like clicking the trigger, sparking it up. Just as a very like his face very monotone, like I'm so done with this shit already.
See that weakling is trying to intimidate us with a taser. Use a real man's weapon. He takes it, and he's going to grasp himself as a certain place and like hip thrust out towards you, which we will, for the better, since this is a PG game, we will not go into detail about where. I was just to sorry, maybe someone else joined. Could someone in chat just give her context as to what's going on? She could just come and join us.
Yes, please. Hi, guys.
Hey. So
Yeah.
basically, oh, can I just explain it vocally? Can't be asked typing.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah,
be
sure, yeah, go for it. Well, go for it.
Basically, there's some kind of magical disturbance not far from the chantry, and we've turned up to it, and there are ancient Greeks and Vikings fighting in the street.
Well, in an alleyway.
Of course, why not?
Well, in a small
Makes
street,
so
but
much
whatever.
sense.
So I think Ava can turn up, and you can see that the three of them have kind of positioned themselves between the two groups.
One group is like look like they're in full armor, like armor and shields and chainmail and everything, and the other group seems to be dressed in mostly normal clothes with just. Two of them have like Greek, like hoplite style helmets, and they have like spears and swords and stuff. But beyond that, it's like
How many people on each side?
20 on one and 6 on the other.
Oh, how many is the 6?
That's the Greeks.
Oh,
Of course.
I'm gonna pull out one of my karambits as well, and I'm gonna face that one towards the Greeks. Just kind of like pointing the taser at the Vikings and pointing the karambit over at the Greeks.
But they did understand what a taser was. This is interesting.
Yeah.
So,
So you're calling them monsters, and they're saying you pretty much murdered and bloodied a lot of people here.
They were collaborators, but unnatural monsters that the gods of the creed should not be. They're not humans, as you and I would understand it. Maybe you are monsters as well.
Oh, don't fucking give me the you humans wouldn't understand. I dine at the right of Odin, so shut the fuck up, you big lumpy fat ass.
yes.
It is canon.
You can hear some voices in the background of the Viking army do a bit of an like. Looky here, boyo, is what I'm going to say. And I can spot he's trying to catch himself in here. He's going to pull out a very, very massive axe. Like it's not like comically massive, but it's a very big one-handed axe, which is going to start burning with green fire. This axe here was blessed by the Old Father himself. Don't come here and try and name drop at me. Now, anyway,
you cannot fight here. If you have some grievance, we're claiming this as near our territory. We could mediate between your two groups, but we cannot allow you to do battle here.
We don't plan on staying. We're eradicating these monsters, and then we're going to move into the rest of the city, finding the monsters and destroying them.
We cannot allow you to do that without knowing exactly what you're doing.
what monsters?
Hello, Ava.
Hi.
He points. Those people with the spears and no armor over there, they're not humans as you and I would understand it. They carry unnatural gifts in their blood.
I'm about to immaculate over your face if you don't chill the fuck out.
Ew.
Alec, there are lots of them. Do not escalate this situation unnecessarily, please.
I mean, it's already kind of being escalated.
What do they say about it? As Nausicaa kind of points at the other guys. Do they think that you're the monsters?
Well, they're very, very weird and dangerous. Monsters isn't necessarily the word we would use, but they do monstrous things. Would you hear what the girl that ran over and is the unofficial spokeswoman of the group?
Both groups can send a representative. We will hear what is happening, and then we will decide and mediate between you two. If you start a fight here, we will be forced to intercede, and that will not be good for anybody.
You can. I'm sure you imagine it would end up going well for you, but you would be surprised. It's going to, the big hair man, the red hair man, is going to just bark out an order. He's gonna, and then suddenly 2 more men is standing behind him, and then 4 more behind them, and the rest of the remaining 20 spread out as like in 2 lines there, which the formation kind of looks like a very small swine head or a swine, a boar head or a snout rather, or whatever. They gotten into battle formation. They have a shield ready and everything. This is. So we will give you another chance. Step aside and let us square up with monsters.
Also, going to pull her wand out.
Yeah.
Do any of you know anything extra about who these people are? I'm not. They're clearly doing some kind of magic, but
No clue.
So, Carl.
Yes.
So could I use? Could I make a perception or an intelligence esoterica?
Yeah.
Greek lore.
Yeah, intelligence, esoteric.
Because the guy is calling them, monsters and all, but the only thing that he sees are hoplites. So
Well,
he's
they
like,
did say they were. Yeah, just roll for all by all means. If anyone else has knowledge about Greek mythology specifically, you can also roll. But
I have a flaw which is an obsession with Greek mythology and
yes,
academics that represents my knowledge of it.
Yeah, you would roll. Difficulty 7 for you though, and difficulty 6 for
okay.
the guy with the esoteric.
Intelligence or perception?
Intelligence.
Yeah.
I have 3 successes.
Okay. I will. I will spend a willpower on this one because I want to know what the fuck. Oh shit!
Oh, nice.
So that would be 4 successes, if I can.
4 successes. Yes, you can spend a willpower. I will allow it.
Mm-hmm.
So we can bin with the 3 successes first. Just go there. So they refer to themselves as myrmidons. Like the most prevalent. Myrmidon as a term, obviously, is used for warriors in general. But the Myrmidon were a people that were created from ants. Like Zeus, made the Myrmidons from ants to be like a warrior army for a king when his people died, when there was like a plague issue. And it was like, oh, we need an army, and they were stronger than normal men. They were not much was told about them. As for the guy who got forces, you know that they've been since the day they were created and they helped defend the kingdom / island they were born on. They've been participating in all sorts of wars, like the Trojan War, for example. Myrmidons were there, so that's they seem to be drawn to conflicts, and they weren't human originally, at least in the legends. So that you both know from the term.
Maybe we should ask them directly who they are and how they're using magic.
Well, those ones are myrmidons, which I kind of understand what they mean by they're not human and they're kind of monsters, because technically they're technically not humans. But that's a little bit of a far stretch. As he turns to the myrmidon representative, he goes, "What is your kind exactly doing here? I thought you were around to conflict, and right now the conflict is more coming to you than the other way around."
New York, street conflicts are a thing. Just mentioning is what she says first, but the Myrmidon culture is dead. Let's just make it that clear, okay? It's not like there's a secret Myrmidon enclave somewhere. We're sent out into the world, but the bloodline exists, which means that some of us, lucky ones, get the gifts of the blood. It resurfaces, which gives us abilities beyond what normal humans can do. These people are taking exception to that. They call themselves the Jomsvikings, is what they claim, and they're a holy order dedicated to serving the gods and killing unnatural creatures that aren't a part of the gods' clans and so on.
Are you aware of the mystical traditions?
mystical traditions? Do you mean like the way some people like the different magical styles, different like traditions you have that have mystical natures to them? I'm not sure what you're referring to be honest.
If you don't know the name, then likely you don't.
Once again, she shrugs.
All I can say is you can't have a war and all that brawl in the middle of New York. It'll bring
As I said,
the Technocratic Union down on this area, and we can't allow that.
well, I don't know who these Technocratic Union guys are. As I said, not our style. The only reason we're agreeing to this madness is to avoid having more people come to harm just because they're vaguely associated with us. She's pointing over to like a taller, older-looking woman back in the crowd. That woman there, you know, it's a soup kitchen. They've been killing homeless people because it's easier to disperse because that can go into her soup kitchen, just to send the message, so to speak, getting us out into the open to fight like men. She says with a slight scowl. So that's why we're doing this, as opposed to, dealing with this in a more delicate manner, which we normally would want to.
Shouldn't be any fighting.
There should not. Would you agree to a sit down and a talk with these people if we were to adjudicate it and promise that there would be safety?
I mean, by all means, we could talk to people, but the problem is that they don't want to. They're religious fanatics. They want to murder and mayhem is what they seek here, apparently. The big Viking dude is going to send a very small Viking dude running up to you and being like, "Come on!" He's very tiny with a really, really bad blonde mustache. And he's going to just twirl it a little bit before it looks proper. And it's going to be like, "Come on, come just stand there. Get up in the line. We can fight like men / women. You can't just slaughter you like pigs."
Shut up.
I'm sent here to just give the message that you people we don't have a quarrel with, and as long as you don't seem to be monsters, unless you of course practice some kind of a natural devilry, we will not have any problems with you. But these people, they carry unnatural gifts in their blood from their so-called gods, and we pledge to make a stop for it.
Why don't you go back there and tell Redbeard the Great over there that we just want to sit down and talk? There ain't no fighting. I'm so sick of this shit.
Talk with more. What's next? No, we're not going to talk with them. We're going to exterminate them, and we're going to move on.
No, you're not.
That's what Odin decreed. That's the mission we've been given. We will not let you stand in our way either. The only reason we haven't already marched you down is because it's poor sport to fight people who are not set up in a proper formation. We're ready to fight.
Well, consider mission over. Because it ain't happening.
Ava, I think technically this falls within your purview as our ambassador.
Gee, thanks. I might be able to do something about that urge to fight, but I think if they will notice that, they might start to think that we're part of that group and might attack on the spot. So
we could contain them with some kind of force barrier.
The blonde mustache of the Viking dude is going to run back and get into the formation. Because it wasn't seem to be much of a negotiation with this guy.
Oscar, can we just, tase them? I mean, they'll stop fighting then.
There's a lot of them, and you have a taser. I literally described non-lethal weapon.
It's non-lethal, but it'll send them on the floor.
It'll send one of them on the floor, and then you'll get an axe in your head.
That's what you guys are here for. I only jest. I just
One
want
of the
this
people,
video.
one of the Vikings on the sideline is going to sheath his axe and pull out a bow and string an arrow and just shoot it wide over your heads. Clearly, just meant to be a warning shot.
Yeah, Alpha is gonna grab her dream diary and she's starting to write a story. Basically, what I want to do is I want to use probably this is going to be correspondence 2, mind 3.
You can't do that.
Forces? No?
No, because you can't channel through correspondence more than your sphere level.
So I can only influence 3 people.
Well, I mean, you can influence more, but you would have to put more successes into it.
I mean, yeah, I know it's going to take longer than,
The correspondence, like when you use that to influence more, like spread out an effect, let's put it that way, or do something to a distance. If you have correspondence 3, you can do a sphere up to 3, but you can't do like forces 5 correspondence 3 to send like a storm.
Okay. I didn't
That's what
know
I mean.
that. No, my idea was to basically create a sort of wind that's why I wanted to use the forces. It kind of blows through them that will influence their minds. But yeah, that won't work then.
Well, I mean, you could still do it, but as I said, like you will have to do several rolls and build up enough successes.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I probably expect that it will take more than 1 round, and yeah. That's why she starts writing. That's basically her spell starting to get off as she's writing the story of a group of heroic fighters that suddenly started to realize that fighting isn't the answer, and they put down their arms and became friends. That's sort of a story that she's writing.
Okay, let me just look up some stuff, and I will ask you to roll after it. Anyone else doing anything of note or saying anything while she's starting to write? Because this is going to take her some time.
Oh yeah.
I think Nausicaa's just going to prepare her. She's going to prepare her wand. So Nausicaa with correspondence 3 can essentially it's not full co-location, but she can create multiple images of herself. She can appear in multiple places at once. It's vulgar magic, and I'm shitting on a shitload of paradox already, though.
I wouldn't do it.
You can't do it.
Well, I said I wouldn't do it. Like, you're with the paradox level that you're at, it would be bad.
Yeah, making multiple copies could be very risky at this point if you have that paradox.
That's fine. I don't think I want to do. I mean, I'm gonna ultimately have to do some vulgar magic if you want to fight them off. But no, I guess if they're just gonna fight,
well, they're not fighting. They're currently still too far away from each other, but they seem very offended that no one is getting into a battle formation and meeting them like men, as they put it. So they're they're just shooting arrows over the heads of you, being like, "Hey, come on!"
Oh wait. Oh well.
Scarlet would like to use Sight of Apollo.
You want
the gift of prophecy.
By all means, if you want to do that, roll for the road. Let me look this up so I can sound very smart and prepared when I say what it is.
Wait. Basically.
Do you roll for Arte yet? By the way.
Yes, sorry, I was just trying to see the rules for area. Give me a second. Mage 20 is not the best book about putting things in nice sections, so you can just Yeah. Evil. Ugh. Stupid. Anyway, just start rolling narrative for this effect. Like you're trying to convince them using mind to to not fight.
I got 2 7s and a 5 for the first roll.
Yeah, 2 7s and a 5 for the first roll. It's going to be
Oh yeah. 3 2 7. I don't know what the starting difficulty is.
It's level 3 mind effect. Difficulty would be 6 here.
Okay. So that is 3 successes so far. That is 5
Yep.
successes.
Yeah, I would recommend you to stop it because like in character this is going to take time, but you don't have like hours to cast to make like a super successful ritual here. It's going to be a very small, a very brief rite, but to use the book terms. Once again, just let me. Okay, I'm trying to find the area chart, but I don't say it. So let me just take an
Area is
executive.
determined by how many people you're affecting.
Yes, I know that, but I'm trying to remember the specific chart for it or finding it in the book. But it's placed it in a really inconvenient way, so I don't find it.
I don't think there is like an area chart. It depends on what sphere you're using. Like forces has essentially an area within its own thing. With mind, I think it's just literally the more people you're trying to do, the more successes you need, basically.
Yeah. Anyway, so you have how many successes did you get again? 5?
I got 5 right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've rolled 3 times.
You rolled 3 times. It's a group of 20 people. I'm going to do a single roll for very spooky reasons. Okay, just need to know that. Anyway, so you have enough. You can see a lot of them are growing a lot more hesitant. Like they don't seem like they some of them are like looking sort of being like, why are we really doing this? Why are we standing in the street like this? So some of them are seeming to get more hesitant. The formation isn't as tight and as disciplined as it seemed to be a bit previously. Anyway, did you roll for prophecy?
No, I was eating.
Yeah, you can just roll.
No. I'm gonna spend a point of ours. Power and point of ours 8. Yes, it makes it free.
Yeah, you're just seeing into the immediate future here, so you don't really need more than that.
Yeah.
So as you can see in the immediate future, what seems to going to be happen is that it's going to be a very, very brutal fight, and the Vikings are going to lose hard.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not Greeks.
Well, it's more that based on what you see in the future, it's more that they're human. So when they try to fight, they are fighting at human speeds and with human strength and with human endurance. So even with their gear, they that. And apparently there seems to be some someone seems to have been cheating. It seems very likely that some of these Vikings are going to die very quickly, very early. But exactly what's causing it is a bit uncertain. That's what you see for now.
Okay.
So the Vikings are now just standing around. Half of the group seems very uncertain about all of this, while the other half seems to be very angry that their fellows are they're starting to bicker and argue amongst themselves and have turned their back to the group now.
If they do that, I just got a great suggestion. Can I create an illusion of? Sorry, I hope you didn't hear that. Of Odin. telling them to go home and go to their wives and or men and
So
that kind of stuff.
I know you can either do like illusions in people's heads, which is mind, or you can make like a physical illusion,
With
Yeah.
forces.
or like which is basically just forces, like
Forces.
tricks of the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's possible to do, which will be enough. But it's going to, as it takes successes, and you might not necessarily have time to make a convincing illusion that all of them are going to see. Like, or like, but I mean, you can try and make an illusion of Odin and try and make it convincing enough.
Do a lightning
This is
strike
possible.
and then just the voice of Odin telling him to fuck off.
I mean,
This could
lightning
also
would
be done.
Thor.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean,
Well,
that
you don't have Odin to tell them. You could
yeah,
add Odin to
exactly.
tell
That
them.
would definitely be sure. Yeah, if that takes less successes.
Yeah, just making a voice is
Hmm.
and a bit of light. That's not that difficult.
Cool. Then that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, it's making a full-scale Odin illusion that's going to fool 20 ardent believers.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Um.
So not faith
So what?
precludes belief, though. They see him for
That,
real.
that would be forces, forces and correspondence, or
No, just be forces.
Forces and
just
yeah,
just
just force.
forces. Okay. Cool.
Correspondence is only
Yeah.
for things at distance.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
Sorry.
forces is for if you
Yeah.
actually want to summon lightning. Forces.
No,
If you just
no.
want to, no. Okay, mind this then. Just go for mind. You don't need forces
Okay.
for this.
Cool.
Well, wouldn't mind create an illusion like in their mind, whereas you could use forces as well as summon real lightning just to like make like I think illusions is just forces like
Yeah.
to make the light look that way.
Yeah. You make actual physical illusions. That depends on your
Okay.
preference.
I think
Sorry,
physical
moment.
illusions you need prime as well, don't you?
Yeah, it depends on the book. Some are like you need prime to power it, but that's presuming you want to have it over time. But the
Which
thing
I
is, like,
also have.
what level? Okay, yeah, just roll forces prime then. Make a physical illusion. It's not that
Cool.
hard.
You need my help, Beta?
I got a 6 and a 7.
6 and a 7. Yeah.
And an 8.
Can I try to help her out on the prime side?
What?
Can I help her out on the prime end of things?
She says she already done the thing, so the help's not really needed. But you can help her with sharing quintessence and stuff later, depending on your prime level, obviously. But anyway,
because you're a technomancer, you can't like do joined effects with mystics.
yeah. Lots of circumstances, but okay. What level of so you summon lightning down? Like it's or a bit at least you take some electricity from nearby.
Yeah.
You smash it right down.
Yeah.
You got 2 successes because it's a vulgar roll, even if it doesn't have witnesses. Yeah. So it's 2 successes, but 2 successes is sufficient. You strike down lightning, and suddenly a booming, voice can just be heard like, just like, piss off. Just go away.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I
Very
will just
divine.
point out. I will just point out that if they fight, they will die. The idiots are gonna die. I will just point that out.
What's the reaction to Arva's thing?
Some of the uncertain Vikings who were affected in mind are like, to the long ship, and they're going to run that. And sure enough, like by the river, because this street leads down to the river. By the river, there is actually like a gleaming longship. Suddenly, there's a big Viking longship with the runes and everything. So 5 of the Vikings are going to run down towards the longship, and the rest of them are going to start running after and being like, "You cowardly traitors!" And he's going to run after them, chasing them down. And then they're going to catch up to the cowards, and they're going to start killing them.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Do I have to roll my soft-hearted flaw?
This would be a very, very appropriate thing to do that.
Yeah, I figured. God damn it. Let me see. That was willpower, right? Quick look. Willpower roll difficulty 8. Fuck.
Yep.
I got 4 successes on this. I was Viking
Yay.
nature popping up.
Yeah, you were fine with seeing 2 of them getting beheaded in the streets. The rest of them got onto the boat, and then the rest of the Vikings are rushing onto the boat and leaving the 2 bleeding, headless corpses on the ground. And the longship they're going to start rowing out the longship.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I've seen some strange things, but what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us too. A large bearded, the largest and the most bearded of the 6 Greeks come over. Well, they're not all Greeks, but you know what I mean. Come over towards you. He has a spear slung over his shoulder, and he's going to just press it down into so it looks more like just like a cane. So retractable spear. It's the latest fashion trend today, and the rest of them are gonna. So yeah. You did some kind of strange magic there, right? Because I really doubt that their god suddenly sent down lightning in the middle of the street to start the argument, send them flying.
I think we should go somewhere that's not in public, and then you can give us a more detailed explanation of exactly what's going on here.
Well, yeah.
There's still 2
Place that.
headless.
Yes, there is. We should dispose of them.
Yeah. Theo?
Are you okay, Alba?
Yeah, I'm fine.
He's gonna like pat her on the head. It's okay.
So yeah, who's going to try and deal with the headless corpses?
Nausicaa looks like she doesn't want to. She'll look at Theo.
I was also looking at Theo. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, he's gonna go clean that mess.
How does he clean this mess?
It's symbolic. He will just give. He will do what any Euthanator would. He pour coins out of his out of his purse, and he will put them under his tongue.
So it's because when Charon comes to pick them up, he will be ready.
Yes, and then he turns. So, I done my part.
That is not.
Well, obviously it's not.
I'm gonna roll my stamina to see if Alpha would
Have
doing that.
Can you people help us with getting rid of those? Because if you think those guys were bothersome, let me tell you, you don't want to have the technocrats breathing down your neck.
Well, we can try and get rid of the bodies. Sure, it's going to nod to 2 of the 6. Yeah, that should make it easier. They will take care of the corpses, hopefully. Anyway, we have a small room here, and as you guys are led down the street, and out of it, you're going to hear a chopper moving nearby. So it's very, very convenient that you get into the into the private location. As
Get
you hear
to
a chopper.
the chopper!
Oh, don't get to the chopper. Run the fuck away.
Yes. So you're inside of what looks like a very typical American 50s diner kind of thing. Just with the added bonus of completely sun-proof curtains that are going to be pulled through. Right. It's going to the bearded man will take off his helmet. The two women that you've seen of the six, the young blonde-haired woman and the older, more gray-haired one, is going to nod at you as well. And the last one is going to be it seems to be more like in the like just gotten out of his late like out of the teenage years, like he's just become adult. So he's just gonna nod at you. Maybe a ginger.
Are you serving food?
Oh, we can. I mean, we can do it. I own the place. The tall man says. Oh no, I'm George, by the way. So then puts down the helmets. This is Bianca. Points to the blonde-haired girl. Anna and let's call him just Chris. That's what he wants to go by. That was a weird turn of events. He says he's going to go back to counter and get ready to go to kitchen, and he's going to start making burgers for everyone. Woo!
Also look very interested in the burgers that are being cooked.
Well, I think that's a better turn of event than the alternative. Because
Cake.
otherwise we'd have to clean 20 bodies or something.
Indeed. What those silly Vikings weren't waiting for, Anna, the older one, says with a with a very sly grin and all, was that we had poisoned all our weapons in advance and placed the little surprises further down the street. So if the battle had started, their great formation would have not been so formed. Let's put it that way. Thankfully, we didn't have to kill them. Not very safe with this.
If you killed them, you would have attracted a large amount of attention to the area, as it would have been obvious that magic had been used. This would have been an inconvenience for us.
Well, yeah, magic is not really much of our thing. We rely much more on our innate gifts, but I learned some secrets back in the day. Notes, which was helpful since these apparently do some kind of like weird Norse ritual magic stuff to their weapons and armor and locations like this. It just frowns. So who are you guys? The Chris, the young dude, is going to say as he flips down into into one of the booths, and he leans in a very 90s way and just looks at you guys.
Nausicaa looks at Ava, as this seems like her job.
I knew you would do that. Fucking hell. Yeah, Ava will look back at Nausicaa, like for a moment, just having that silence. Really, do I have to do this? Yes, you will have to do this moment before she sighs, and we'll introduce everyone. This is Alec, Theo, and
Alec.
she'll just give a quick look at Nausicaa to see if there is another way that she might want to introduce herself.
Athena.
Athena and Nimue.
Yeah. Okay. That's your names. So why were you on the street?
Because
So, obviously.
because a lampad told me that well, your two communities were having problems with that as much as she and the creature of the underworld enjoy having new visitors. This was going to be problematic for everybody.
Well, we didn't kill anyone, so it was mostly a one-sided murder fest, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, but if the battle had happened, you would have started to, make a body pile.
Yeah, that we would, but that's only out of self-defense. Because I don't really want to have more pictures sent of people in my soup kitchen getting being blood-eagled and stapled to walls. I am sure you can understand that. The old woman says once again, just not. So it was
Yeah.
keep our nature hidden from normal mortals, but
Yeah, I understand what you mean. So I think a safe bet is that if they start to come back, you should give us a call.
we don't really need your help to take care of them.
No, don't get us wrong. The problem is not you killing them. That's kind of what we don't want to happen.
So can you? Yeah. So you were asking about us, but okay, can we get to know what you people are all about? What's your things?
I'm a servant of the gods.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. That doesn't really mean much.
Well,
No
coming
offense.
from no offense, but coming from Myrmidons who own their existence to Zeus, I think that's a little bit of a blaspheme, but it's okay.
It's not blaspheming. A lot of people claim to serve the gods, and it's usually the way we're introduced to other people in the, let's call it, the not normal community.
Maybe they require some proof from you, Theo.
It's not about proof, but that doesn't really specify things. Being a servant of God, I mean, are you secretly a demigod or something in disguise? Are you a satyr? What's going on? Are you a sorcerer? What's the thing?
I.
Sorry,
Go
go ahead.
on. No.
Damien, by all means, go ahead. I hate you.
Okay. As Theo goes, I am a priest of the Stonians gods, and I also perform for the dodecahedron, and I perform miracles in their name through the power that they have imbued to me through my prayers and my dedication.
Okay. Right. Priests. Are all of you also priests, or are you just a strange fellowship that's better come into all my grounds?
I think it's safe to say that we are all simple human beings that understand the working of the universe a bit better than most.
Suga looks at Arva, gives her a very kind of like appreciative nod. I would say that's a very accurate description.
AKA, we're a bunch of pricks.
That seems to be the general consensus among the Myrmidons based on their facial expressions.
That is fine.
Anyway, well, if you stay in the area, we promise to be good neighbors and not come waltzing in on your grounds, as long as you don't come and cause issues with us here. We have enough issues if you don't have, the monsters popping in and out and all sorts of other weird stuff. If I'm going to suddenly have people who understand the universe suddenly come in and cause issues.
We're here because we do not want issues caused. Attracting attention, there are people that are not as enlightened as us in this city. They could cause trouble for us, and they could also cause trouble for you.
Indeed, as I said, we prefer to keep our heads down. It's the longship brigades down there that are seeking to drag things out into the light.
Well, how could we help you stop this trouble? We don't want trouble.
Well, well, we currently have driven them temporarily away. I think that based on the little intelligence we've been able to gather, it seems that they're talking about like they've set up a hall somewhere, and are preparing to wage their war on the monsters of New York, as they put it.
Fascinating. Do you require extra security or a soup kitchen?
This is not really where we stay. We don't really have as I said, we don't have an enclave or anything. We're really individuals. We just stay in this same neighborhood and train the ones of us with more experience. This is Anna, the old woman talking. Teaches the younger ones more about the gifts of the blood and how to use it.
So they set up a hall.
Yes, I don't know where this hall is, but they talked about how they'd gather. We sent Chris here, who's really good at following people, to spy on them as they were patrolling around. And they talked about how they had carved it in with powerful runes and set it all ready, and were recruiting to train new warriors in the army of the gods, and how they were going to cleanse the city of all the things they deem unnatural, Jotuns and bloodsuckers and all sorts of other things they mentioned. He shrugs.
This is this is very worrying.
It also seems I'm the 20 or so people that we just were encountering. Based on what we know, they're just one of the groups here. There are more of them than those.
Okay.
That's the last bit of intelligence we will give for free, because that's also the last bit of notable intelligence that we have.
Well, you may not know it then, but how do they find you?
That's also something we don't know. As I said, we have not done anything to cause any stir or fuss. As I said, we barely interact amongst each other, but somehow they've been able to find us and identify us as not as more than human. And since then, they've been sending us threatening letters via carrier pigeon, and
Did somebody laugh at your carrier pigeon comment on your side?
No, that is Jesse. That was
Oh, really?
just times.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sitting in my bedroom right now, so there's a little bit more noise from him because his computer room is across the hallway.
So Norsik is going to say, we could attempt to find these people. If we're able to find them, then we may be able to do something about it because, well, we don't appreciate people coming into our city that we fought hard to exist in and attempting to destroy us.
So, are they actual Vikings?
I mean, if if it looks like one, speaks like one, and fights like one, it doesn't really make an appreciable difference or not. But I mean, they are from they're not from the Viking Age or anything. Like they have phones and stuff.
Yeah.
So
They
there's
just
some ancient layover from Viking times that has
yes.
survived to the modern era as some kind of freaky secret society.
For some reason, they when they're like they don't go at because they know where several of us live. So it's not like they couldn't have just attacked us in the night, but for the most part, they don't. They send letters and are like, face us like men, you knaves, or we will make your pain a matter of new sagas and all sorts of
So, some twisted
stuff.
sense of honor.
Indeed. They're completely fine with kidnapping homeless people off the street and ripping out their ribs and stuff, but
Mm. I will shove the burger away with like hearing those things.
Do you know where their
They,
lodge hall is? Or any of their names, in fact? I could attempt
no,
to find them.
I think one of the captains, as they put it, was called Gunnar, but that's all. We only have Gunnar, the name. We only have the first name because they don't like. We've taken one or two of them out in before secretly, but they don't have any kind of identifying papers or anything on them, and we have not been able to identify where their hall is.
So they're not any kind of U.S. citizens.
Maybe, but they don't have any passports, driver's license, or credit cards on that we could use to identify them.
Hmm.
They've been harassing us for a few weeks now, but due to the nature of the group, they're more skilled than they seem. So it's not easy to track them and or fight them. The only reason we would probably win this battle is because we had preparation on our side, and we chose the battlefield in advance because they were like, choose your field of battle. As long as it's by the river was the only condition they gave. They just shrug again. And
Maybe
burgers
on
are
the.
the burgers
Sorry.
are also really good apparently because they got the tall beer guys coming out with burgers. They're giving it out to people now, so people get to eat burgers and they're very yummy.
As Theo and Alec have left for their other duties, Nausicaa will take their
Yeah.
burgers.
Yeah, of course.
She looks very happy with multiple burgers. Maybe, Nimue, we could go back to Valhalla and we could bring some kind of god here to convince them to leave us alone.
Well, interesting idea. Tiny problem though. How are you gonna go there? I might, in some way, be able to find my way there. But last time we were brought by violets to that place. I can't, I'm not strong enough to bring you to such a place yet.
I understand.
So that would just be me and anyone else who would be willing or who is able to walk into the other planes of existence.
The different Romans are eating their burgers and they're just frowning and looking at you people because you're weird.
Oh, that's fine.
I must admit, this is a strange situation.
I mean, we just need to find out more information. So, first of all, we need to find a camp before we can come up with any kind of strategy. Maybe there is some sort of weakness that we can use. Maybe there we can find out what their mission is and give them the idea that they've solved the mission. We don't know anything about them yet. I think that's going to be our first step is to find out more.
Tess, am I connected?
Good idea.
I didn't hear what Ava said.
Oh, sorry. She said basically that the first thing that they need to do is um, just find out more information before they're going to make battle plans.
Yeah, okay, fine. Well, I mean, we can since you did us a solid by helping us not have a battle in the streets, we can potentially help you guys out when the time comes to deal with these people. I'm not going to make any promises now that this early, but that's a potential offer from some of us, is that we're individuals. So Yeah.
You said you're warriors.
Well, by blood we are. Not everyone is by profession, but yes.
Do you have? You must get injured in battle, though. No.
Yes.
And you said you
We
had
get
special abilities.
we get over that. Most injuries are healed quickly enough.
Are you able to heal others? And Nausicaa kind of lifts up her like messed up arm.
I am, Anna says, step forward. It's going to feel weird, but I can heal you.
I'll happily pay you for your services.
Oh, they wasn't asking for payment. A favor is a favor. Let me give you that. Solid. Like you place the hand on your injured arm, and just on your on your general chest area, like just like on your torso, and it's going to feel very strange to Nausicaa. It's going to feel like she has suddenly just pouring into her body, and they're like knitting in there. It tickles, and it's sort of halfway painful at the same time. It's very strange, and having it stretch over the burn marks and injuries of the arm, and you can even feel like you can just hear, feel sinew and muscle inside of your arm being bitten and shaped right, so that the arm is fully recovered. So you are now healed after what seems like a 30 seconds of intense intense healing processes.
Yeah, Nausicaa, like after this is done, she kind of tentatively kind of like tries to move her arm and take it out of the thing. And then
Ah, it's
she'll
fine.
thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem, Gertie. She does, and she will step back and go back to eating her burger.
Would you like anything from us?
Uh, I mean, we can discuss this amongst ourselves and get back to you about it. Uh,
You run a homeless
I
shelter
mean,
now.
yeah, I run a homeless shelter.
Well, as a gesture of goodwill, Nausicaa is gonna pull out a checkbook, and she's gonna write them a check for 20 grand.
Her eyes are going to widen significantly as she sees this 20 grand check, and she'll be like, yeah, but it's too much. No need to give us that much. Give me that much for a very simple favor. But I mean, I thank you anyway. But just like, oh,
It's not for you; it's for the homeless people.
fair enough.
I can write it as a tax reimbursement, philanthropy.
Hmm. Ah,
When Nausicaa says that, she looks at Ava like as a kind of like, that's why I'm doing it.
Ava will just sort of, pat Nausicaa on the knee, like underneath the table, like there. You did good. I'm proud.
So, we will attempt to find these people. We may be unable. If they're off the grid, as you say, then it'll be much harder for me. But we can attempt to, and then we would rather not have some religious fanatic Vikings running around the city, killing anything they see as unusual. It will attract a lot of attention.
If they're off the grid, I might have an idea.
If they're off the grid, likely you will be better at it than me, Nimoy. Your methods are more esoteric.
Quite likely.
good to hear. Good to hear. Well, you know what? You can come meet me here, Georgia's line. When you have found anything, you don't have to send message by carrier pigeon. It's very unnecessary. So he just nods. But beyond that, I don't think we have much to speak about at present. We're going to see if we can find out anything ourselves. Do we have
For
anything
now.
where we can meet you and exchange information?
You could
I
have.
was gonna ask if you had a phone number and an email address. It's the easiest
Hmm?
way to share
Yes.
information, I'd say. Especially if
True enough.
enemies are off
He's
grid.
he's going to take out a pen and paper and write down an email address and a phone number and just slide it over to the two of you.
Slide it to Nausicaa.
Nausicaa will take it and memorize it. I only have one more question.
Ask.
Does this place do takeout or delivery?
Yes.
Good. I'll bear this in mind. Thank you. The burgers were good. Nausicaa's literally just smashed 3 burgers.
Yeah. No one is. People politely not comment on this.
And yeah, we can get up and leave, I think.
Yeah, I think you can get up and leave. And unless you people have something immediate you want to do after this, you can end the scene for me.
We can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.